Rules for happiness. Something to do, someone to love, and something to hope for. Thus wrote the German philosopher Immanuel Kant a long time ago, a couple hundred years ago. He, of course, had Venus in Gemini, which is what I'm talking about today. And, you can see in his suggestions about the rules for happiness is that you need something else, something other. This is already a Gemini idea. Gemini is the sign of the twins. It's a sign of two things, two people, but also a sign of mirroring. So it's interesting. I love Venus in Gemini, by the way. She's there from the 9th of May to the 2nd of June this year. And for all of us, this should be a time when we're having conversations, when we're meeting other people, when we're being sociable. This is one of the most sociable signs of the zodiac. So at least, even if you can't get out, you should be picking up the telephone, making those connections, talking to people, because those conversations and that talking to people will go really smoothly and sweetly, because this is also, Venus is about sweetness. She brings sweetness to wherever she goes. And when she's in Gemini, one of the most important things, to me anyway, one of the effects of Venus in Gemini can be a humor. It's a humorous combination. It's a combination of sign and planet that loves laughter. One of my favorite examples of this are Jennifer Saunders and Joanna Lumley, who are absolutely fabulous, of course. And they both have Venus in Gemini, and of course they come together, and they're much funnier when they're together. And in fact, that's another thing about Venus in Gemini, is that when you see it in people's charts, these are people often, although not always, it depends on the rest of the chart, who are much better with another person. They have a partner, they're paired. So David Beckham and Victoria Beckham, he has Venus in Gemini. She has Mars on his Venus in Gemini. And they have the reverse as well. So he's got Mars in Pisces and she's got Venus in Pisces. So they have that thing going. I always think of the Kennedys as well, JFK and Jackie Onassis, Venus in Geminis. Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love, her Venus in Gemini was making a conjunction to his MC. But it's a pairing, okay? So when we have this time of the year, you should be thinking about your friendships, really, because this is also about friendship as much as it is about love. Having said that, for Sagittarians, for example, and Aquarians, this may be very much about love. It's can be a very romantic time of year. And even for Libras as well, I think it's quite a romantic time of year. For Geminis yourselves, Geminis, just remember, when you have Venus in your sign, this is about, getting your haircut and getting your new wardrobe and looking marvelous for spring, and also, telling people how much you like them. And this is something that we should, share the good news, really, when Venus is in Gemini. So there are a couple things I wanted to point out this time round, which is that Venus makes a great trine to Saturn on the 20th of May, which is amazingly good for if you want to make a commitment, or if you want to have a very serious conversation, but light, a serious but yet light conversation about a relationship, probably, or about a business partnership. Don't forget that Gemini is a sign of exchange, and Venus is the planet of money, right? So there's a commercial aspect to this conjunction as well. And the other thing that happens, which I think is exceptionally important, and I'm very intrigued by this year, is that Mercury will turn retrograde. The planet of communications and speech and speed will turn retrograde, goes backwards, on the 29th of May this year. And on that day, Venus will make a conjunction to Mercury, and so the whole of the Mercury retrograde is kind of influenced a little bit by that. It's like Mercury gets to Venus, has a quick conversation with her, and thinks, oh no, I need to go backwards. I need to go back. There's something I forgot to do, and Venus has just reminded me. And if it's Venus that's reminding you of something, it may be to do with money, it may be to do with love. It may be to do with sugar, sweetness. It may be to do with luxury. It may be to do with beauty. It may be to do with fashion. Maybe it's all going to be very retro in fashion in June. Well, It always is, isn't it? And on that note, just on what is beautiful, which of course is a Venusian thing, what's beautiful? Kant also had something to say on that point. He said, look for the small. That's where you may find the beautiful.